What is happening, everybody out here in YouTube land? Uh-oh. It's still recording. It takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Another old guy slang. More old guy slang. I'm not sure why we are going back to this video of whether or not the electric guitar is dead. But for whatever reason, this related to an article last year in the Washington Compost, and for whatever reason we are back on this fucking stupid video. I've seen Rob Chapman, Circle of Tone. Will Galvin had a video, but I'm not sure if that was his old video or not. I did watch it, and it did seem very familiar, the things he said. I don't know if he did a new video or not. I think that was probably his old video. And you know what? Before I even get started, because this is kind of a really stupid topic, let's get on to more important business, which is the business of, if you are a part of the guitar community, or a part of the guys that go to Burt Cocaine's hangouts, if you know Elmo B and kind of the guys that hang around with us, I'm sure you guys are familiar with a guy that used to be called Cyber Reload. His channel was taken down. I did a video on it a few weeks back, but really cool dude. His name was Cyber Reload. He had a couple thousand subscribers or whatever, and YouTube just took his shit away. So he has a new channel, and he's trying to get the word out there because apparently people are not. He's got a new name. It's Les Peter Guitar Jam. And there should be a link somewhere up in there, and I'm going to put a link in the description of every one of my upcoming videos until he, you know, starts to gain some of his subscribers back and get the word out. Because the guy, he seems to really deserve it. This is kind of like, I've known him in the last month or so, really started to get to know the dude, and he's a guitar player, musician, and seems like a genuinely cool dude, so... if you guys haven't visited Les Peter Guitar Jam, please do so now. Subscribe to his channel. Hit the. You're gonna like. Trust me, you're gonna love the videos. And if you guys remember the channel called Cyber Reload, he is now over at Les Peter Guitar Jam. So go over there and subscribe to his stuff. And I know you guys are gonna like his shit because he's. If you like people that are basically, you know, they're not gonna blow sunshine up your ass and they're just gonna tell you the truth of the matter. I mean, if you're watching this channel and you subscribe to this because you like my content, then you're going to like this guy. So, anyhow, let's get back to the not so important business. Is the guitar, the electric guitar, dead or not? So, Ed Dana did a video, and Ed had, you know, I think where Ed Dana was wrong is that Ed Dana doesn't realize that he's old. And that's, with all due respect, I'm no spring chicken myself. You know, I'm in the musician realm, I'm a fucking antique, you know. I'm in my 40s, my early 40s, you know. I remember when Ozzy Osbourne was 45 and I was like 20 or 5 or something. And God, I don't even think I was that. But, God, I remember thinking, Ozzy's old, man. He's like 45, you know. So to, you know, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids, I'm an old man, and although, you know, people my age, and we know that, you know, it doesn't really change. I mean, the older you get, you feel the same. It's just other things change, but anyhow, but I think that's what Ed doesn't understand, is that he's just old and not up to date. And he did bring up, you know, a few pretty good points about how music is changing, or how music has changed. And I really want to talk on that, because this is also where Owen Gibbons went wrong, and Rob Chapman, because in my opinion, Rob Chapman and Owen Gibbons, if they really wanted to do the music business a favor, they should just get out of it. I don't know anything about Chapman guitars. If they're good quality guitars and they're good quality instruments, great. And I hope he sells millions of them. And other than that, I'd like to not see him, you know, because he's a part of the problem. David Geffen once said to one of the Eagles that, you know, this would be a great business if there weren't artists. And You know, as you guys know, David Geffen is still around. There's another guy that basically owns the music business, which is Steve Ivey, you know. I mean, he basically owns the music business, and he's the same mindset as the David Geffens of the world. If there weren't artists, this would be a fantastic business. And that right there is a huge reason music is the way it is. Basically, all music seems to have taken a page from the Nashville system. In Nashville, the country singer-songwriters, Nashville doesn't like singer-songwriters. They like singers, they like songwriters. And Nashville, for decades upon decades, has been, their formula has been get the best song, get the best band, get the prettiest person with the best voice to sing it. And they put it all together and it becomes a product to sell, okay? You guys, you know, especially the younger guys, you wouldn't believe how many country songs are written by people that you wouldn't even, Willie Nelson. All the old country guys, the old outlaw country guys, wrote a lot of the songs that you're even hearing today. Not only in country music, but in pop and rock music too. So I think what happened is at some point in time, you know, the LA scene, which is kind of what everybody bases, you know, when people think about heavy metal and stuff like that, a lot of people think of LA. Because for a long time there in the 80s, you know, I think LA had its time where, you know, that was kind of the epicenter of heavy metal in the United States, you know. However, we still have places, and had them then, and they're still here now. And you don't have to look too far outside of your front door to find that, listen, man, there are bands and guitar players everywhere, every single night of the week. You know, Owen said in his video that there's no venues. There's just no venues. And even if there were venues, nobody would be there. Well, that's bullshit. Because I'm going to show you guys right now. This is Tuesday evening. I'm recording this, and I want to show you guys something, because here in Detroit on a Tuesday, let's see, on a Tuesday, this is what's going on here in Detroit. All of these venues: Magic Stick, St. Andrews Hall is the Sanctuary, the Fillmore Detroit Magic Bag, Jazz Cafe at Music Hall, PJ's Lager House, the Old Miami, the Garden Theater, Marble Bar, Hard Rock Cafe, El Club, Harpo's Concert Theater, which I played at many times, Music Town Detroit, Detroit Concert Choir Detroit, Smalls, Nancy's Whiskey Pub, Baker's Keyboard Lounge, Cliff Bell's Jazz Cafe, and 10 more, at least 10 more, on Google. Max M. Fisher Music Center, Burt's Marketplace, Caju Cafe, Cliff Bell's, you know, McShane's Irish Pub. This is Tuesday night. This is just Tuesday night live entertainment here in Detroit, and I could go on for, you know, quite a few more pages. We haven't got to the weekend yet, okay? Haven't even got to the weekend yet. And this is just what's going on in Detroit. This is Craigslist in Detroit. And it's all, this is the musical instruments section, and it's all guitars and guitar equipment for sale. Hundreds upon hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of guitars and amplifiers, and ooh, that's a pretty cool looking custom coupe tube 2x12 combo amp. That's interesting. I may have to look at that. But we're talking thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of instruments for sale, you know, in the Detroit Metro Craigslist. So to say something as ridiculous as the electric guitar is dead, and to say something as ridiculous as, well, there's no guitar heroes out there and whatnot, you know, it makes me think about, I'm also a boxing fan. If you guys, I think I've mentioned before, I'm a huge Muhammad Ali fan. And I watched a documentary on him. If you guys haven't seen it, it's called Facing Ali. It's a fantastic documentary about Muhammad Ali and some of the guys that faced him. And one of the fighters said that, I think it was Henry Cooper, for you guys on the other side of the pond there, O. Henry, he said that, you know, boxers, most successful boxers came from, you know, poverty, or came from maybe not poverty exactly, but a lower class situation. You have to be able to want to fight your way out of the situation you're in. And, you know, that's true for musicians, too. If you look back at a lot of the great musicians, you know, Owen mentioned Black Sabbath. Well, all the guys in Black Sabbath basically came from, let me tell you something, Owen, they were all poor, right? They were all poor. They didn't have any background, right? They were all poor. So, you know, I think that's where, you know, I know that's where a lot of great musicians come from, because you need to fight your way out of the situation you're in to want to better yourself, to get yourself out of that place. And that's where you're going to find brilliant musicians. Now, I can go to venues any night of the week. You know, Detroit has always been a musical mecca. You know, there's places like New Orleans, you know, Elmo B. Go over to his channel and he could tell you all about New Orleans, where not only do you have all different kinds of genres of music, but one of the most amazing parts of it is to see little kids out on their front porch blowing horns, playing stuff from like the 1920s, you know? I mean, just incredible, because this stuff has been handed down generation after generation. You know, just like I'm a musician, I'm a guitar player, and I'm handing down my musical talents to my children to see what they want to do. My daughter, she's into vocals, you know, she's not a guitar player, but she likes to sing. And, you know, people hand this stuff down generation after generation. My father was a fantastic country and western singer. You know, that wasn't his job. You know, he made his money elsewhere, but he was fantastic. He used to go and sit in with the bands in the country western places in northern Michigan back in the day. I can remember being a little kid, man. My old man would be up on stage singing old Waylon Jennings songs and Kenny Rogers songs, you know. But that goes on every day. So, like I said, you don't really have to go much past your front door to see that there are amazing musicians, amazing guitarists out there right now. I know there's some video on my YouTube channel, and if it's the band I was thinking of, there was an incredible band at the Token Lounge. It's in my videos. If it's the band I'm thinking of, they were incredible. They were doing all original material, and great guitar player in that band. But this is everywhere, man. There's 100 places, at least, on a Tuesday night in Detroit that you can go and see, you know, local live talent. And you're going to see unbelievable, incredible guitar players. And the kids are still doing it. The difference is the kids, I think, I'm not saying we certainly have not solved poverty. Have we, Owen? We haven't solved poverty, right, Owen? Because I'm poor, and along with all the people I hang out with on YouTube, we don't have any background. We're poor. So obviously we haven't solved the poverty problem. But I do think people tend to put their children in too much of a bubble. They tend to let them get away with sitting there playing a video game when they put a guitar in their hand, let them play that. That's what I was playing. I mean, I had video games, but, you know, I was playing my guitar as much as I played my video games. And it's the same thing. It's not about learning the guitar. It's about just pick it up and play it like you play your video games, you know, and you'll learn stuff along the way. And, you know, you get your teacher and teach you the basics, and you take it from there, you know. I mean, pretty much almost every musician that almost every guitar player I've ever known is a lot of what they know is just self-taught. So, but again, that's probably coming from a poor background and all that. You know, we weren't allowed to, you know, turn ourselves into a sheltered person who was scared to go outdoors and just sat in the house with absolutely no type of exercise or whatever. You know, you know, when you come from a poor upbringing, you know, it is what it is. And I hope you can detect the sarcasm there, Owen. But on the other hand, Owen did have a few good things to say, because he was right about the music business. People have settled, you know. Basically, these David Geffens of the world have created their own package. They've pretty much eliminated the artist. You don't have to have a band anymore. They just have one person like a Lady Gaga. And I'm not taking anything away from Lady Gaga. I think what she does is brilliant. But what I'm saying is she doesn't have a band, you know, that is her band. You know, like, you know, when you had Ozzy Osbourne, you had the Ozzy Osbourne band. And yes, many people came in and out of that band, but many people came in and out of a lot of bands. But then, you know, you had Black Sabbath, you had the Black Sabbath band. So these days, you know, you don't usually have one person, you know, and it's a singer, and if they're not recording over some kind of electronically made music, they are put into the studio, 9 times out of 10 it's just electronically, but sometimes they're put into the studio with a studio band, and then they come out and they go on stage, and those guys aren't making that much money that are, you know, you get touring money, but you don't really get anything else, you know. If you're lucky, you'll get some type of sharing in the touring money. But other than that, I mean, it's not that much, man. It's just not that much. That's why, if you are lucky enough to go out on tour with a band, you know, you want to put yourself in the best position to get the best touring deal for yourself. So that you're not making $300 a week, you know, enough to get to the next week. So, but yeah, the electric guitar is certainly not dead. But I'll tell you what is dying, and here's another reason that Dana went wrong, is YouTube is going somewhere. Facebook is going somewhere. Facebook and YouTube are going to be the MySpaces of their time when the time comes. So, let me know what you guys think. Go visit the former Cyber Reload and the new Les Peter Guitar Jam. Link is in the comments section, and we'll see you soon.